Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to my super chat. Thank you for giving me every incentive to rock these live streams. I did an upload that's doing quite well earlier on today. Please check that out on my channel. And I've been having these bizarre issues with my computer, but hopefully they'll be resolved any day now. But the cuckoos have flown the coop, ladies and gentlemen. They are now the Democratic Party has a problem with the United States Senate. So we're talking about the foundation of our country now. We're talking about um, changing the fabric, the political structure of our country to suit the losers who can't win elections because they have every single possible advantage from the MSNBC, the CNN, the New York Times. As can you hear me now? All right, so let me know if you can hear me now. Is this better? Let's see if you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear me now. I apologize. I apologize. This is crazy. All right, let me know if you can hear me now. I'm like, everything is so slow on this computer now. I have no idea why. It's got to be the Russians. Russia, if you can't hear me, it's the Russians. I'm just it's taking a million years for me to just load up and see the chat. So well, I'm assuming you can hear me. So, yes, you're gone. Yes, we can hear you, but I'm gone again. Okay, loud and clear. Let me know if you can see me. So basically, it's been wonderful. Thank you. We're going to end this, and I think I've explained everything I need to explain right now. Just joking, just joking. Let's start over. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Um, basically, ladies and gentlemen. All right, excellent. Well, it's been great. I gave you the key to life and the key to everything you need to have a happy life. I hope you heard everything. And we're just going to end this right now. Thank you so much. No, I'm just joking. So the crazies, the cuckoos have flown the coop. They are out of control. They want, they don't like the Senate. They don't want the Senate anymore. The Senate is an inconvenience for them. So we're talking about the fabric of our nation, the political fabric of our nation, and that is basically they lose all the time. So they continue to lose. Oh my god, dude, my computer. What is going on? They want to abolish ICE. They want to abolish the Senate. They want to abolish the Electoral College. They want to impeach Trump. They want to impeach Kavanaugh. So they won't be happy until they do all of those things. Here. Okay, so they won't be happy until they do all of those things. And they have no power to do any of them. So they have no power to do any of them. But they still talk as if they can, which is a big problem. It's so annoying. And it's kind of frightening because instead of trying to speak to the rest of the nation, what they're doing is they're doubling down on their insanity, and they're saying, well, if we can't defeat them normally, what we will do then is just completely rewrite just completely erase how Americans conduct business from a political sense. We'll remake American politics to suit us, to suit our needs. So today, for example, was very interesting. President Trump apologized to Brett Kavanaugh. And he apologized to Brett Kavanaugh for the manner in which he was treated. I think that makes sense. And I think that makes sense for a number of reasons. Kavanaugh was accused by everybody from Avenatti to people on MSNBC of committing crimes they had no evidence he committed. So an allegation is not enough to destroy or ruin a person's life or reputation. What they keep saying is, well, there were people who came out and said a whole lot of things that he did, and oh, by the way, he committed perjury because he drank more than you would think. Well, you can't prove that he was this alcoholic in high school simply because of yearbook photos or a letter he wrote or some roommate. This is all conjecture and innuendo and gossip and hearsay. They ignore the over 130 women who signed. No, I didn't. Which UFC fighter gave a shout out to Kavanaugh? That's pretty cool, actually. They ignore all the women who stood by Brett Kavanaugh, and they focus only on the allegations. But the allegations without any evidence, if you have allegations without evidence, that's anybody could be accused without evidence of anything. So when Trump apologized to Kavanaugh, he actually, on behalf of people who believe in due process and innocent before you're innocent before being proven guilty. You're innocent until you're proven guilty. That's a cornerstone not only of our judicial, well, it should be a cornerstone of our judicial system, and sometimes it still doesn't work out. There are people wrongfully accused of rape and horrible things, and they're sent to jail because of an unjust system oftentimes. But you can't just accuse somebody. You can't just accuse somebody of wrongdoing without proving that they've committed the wrongdoing. So let's go ahead and Trump apologizes. So there was a ceremony today. So he's officially sworn in. They want to impeach him. They can't impeach him. They want to impeach. You need 67 senators to impeach. Trump apologizes to Kavanaugh for allegations during confirmation. President Trump apologizes to Brett Kavanaugh and his family. Trump apologizes to Kavanaugh on behalf of a nation, asserting he was proven innocent. You are innocent until proven guilty. So he's right. Trump is right about that. Anyone can be accused of anything in this country. What Trump is doing is he's actually making liberals look at themselves in the mirror. They apparently like what they see. They're doubling down on everything. But Lum, Texas voter registration last chances tomorrow. Thanks for everything, HA. #walkaway. If you're in Texas, register. Please register if you're in Texas. Please go ahead and register if you're in Texas. I did a segment today. Beto O'Rourke is not going to win Texas. He's not going to win Texas. Andrew Gillum is not going to win Florida. Bernie Sanders candidates are going to get decimated, and then they're going to blame Bernie Sanders. They're going to blame Bernie Sanders, and I'm just letting everybody know. But this is interesting, and this is a Vox article. Impeaching a Supreme Court justice explained. It works just like impeaching a president, which they failed to do also. Now that Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation to the Supreme Court appears to be a sure thing, it is. A big question looms among liberals. Can a Supreme Court justice be impeached? Well, based on what? So an FBI, a seventh FBI investigation found nothing. So you had 7 FBI investigations, found absolutely nothing. Okay. So then what are you gonna do? How are you going to impeach this man if you found nothing? Kavanaugh now faces 3 named accusations, of assault and misconduct, so there's no proof. But even before the allegations, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Lisa Graves called for Kavanaugh's impeachment. She did, about an entirely different thing. She accused him of lying about stolen memos the Bush White House. Okay, and nothing happened with that. You can accuse somebody of anything. If you don't have evidence for the accusation, again, it's unlikely a Republican-controlled House would act on such an impeachment. Of course not. But if Democrats took control, they could pursue charges related to both the sexual wrongdoing and lying about the memos. Well, if there was no evidence of either allegation or either subject matter, then how on earth could they pursue this? Kavanaugh is not the only jurist facing such calls. Jill Abramson, the former executive editor of the New York Times, in February called for an impeachment inquiry against Justice Clarence Thomas for lying about, they're trying to relitigate things when, if you really wanted to, and there's still an ongoing investigation now, Hillary Clinton actually did commit crimes. National security was harmed greatly. You had China who hacked into her server and got all the top secret intelligence. Then you have Vox just is all over the place. People are trying to they're becoming more irrational. Brandon Wolf, Marsha Blackburn up 8 points. Independents believe Kavanaugh. Is witch hunt by 30 points. But those numbers, these are skewed, overwhelm the vote. Absolutely. November 6th will be epic, and I urge everyone to be here. Brandon Wolf, please be here. November 6th, 2018. I am counting the days, ladies and gentlemen. I am counting the days, and I don't care if I have to reboot this computer 10, 20 times on November 6th. It's going to be a party at HA's. That's right. Absolutely. Do my lips move when I read? Well, I'm reading out loud. You're not going to impeach anyone. So to impeach a president, the majority of the Senate and the majority of the House and 2/3 of the Senate. So that's to impeach a president. If you want to impeach a Supreme Court justice, I believe it's if it's the same, the Vox article says the same as impeaching a president. So 2/3, so the majority in the House and 2/3 of the Senate. You're not going to get 67 votes. You're not going to get 67 votes for a long. I don't even know when the next time the Democratic Party will control Congress or the presidency or state legislatures or governors' mansions. Over 30 over 30 states have 33 states have Republican governors, 33 or 32. 32 states have Republican state legislatures. Republicans are going to gain in the Senate, and Republicans are going to keep the House. Now, the House, Democrats could get 10, 15 seats. But you're still not going to be in a position, the Democratic Party is not going to be in a position to impeach anyone. They'll never be in a position to add an amendment to further their insane, crazy agenda or policies. Oh, we want to pack the court. You're not going to change the Supreme Court, the number of justices. You're not going to do that. I don't care what fantasy these people have. I mean, you have people at Harvard and Yale teaching this. Well, it's possible. It's possible. No, it's not possible. Then they start talking about so I'll just read you here. The Constitution provides that an amendment may be proposed either by the Congress with a 2/3 majority vote in both the House of Representatives and the Senate, or by a constitutional convention called by 2/3 of the state legislatures. All right, so you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. Two-thirds of state legislatures could possibly be the only way, but they only have, what, 16 now? 16 or 17 state legislatures. And I still think that Congress has a say in it, even if the state legislatures decide. So wait, both by Senate or by a constitutional convention called for by 2/3 of the state constitutional convention. Let's look at the constitutional amendment process. National Archives. Right here, because they want to pack the court, so they want to change it from 9 justices to a billion liberal justices added on, which is stupid. Because they fail so miserably, then they're going into like Never Land, and then they want to impeach Justice Kavanaugh. Then they want to also change the composition of the Senate. The whole point of the Senate is to ensure that small states have a vote. Carl Cardona, you're 100% right. They really are. It's like insane, but the Constitution provides, this is the National Archives. The Constitution provides that an amendment may be proposed by either the Congress with a 2/3 majority vote in the House, which is 290 representatives, and the Senate by a constitutional convention called for by 2/3 of state legislatures. None of the 27 amendments to the Constitution have been proposed by constitutional convention. So you're not going to get 33 states. You're going to need a lot of red states, and it ain't going to happen. There are currently more red states than there are blue states. The Congress proposes an amendment in the form of a joint resolution. Since the president does not have a constitutional role in the amendment process, the joint resolution does not go to the White House for signature or approval. The original document is forwarded directly to the Office of Federal Register. The OFR adds legislative history notes to the joint resolution and publishes it in slip law format. Okay. Then it gets into like the technical process here. Archives and Records Administration. It's never been ratified. There's never been an amendment ratified by the states. So the Washington Post has an article, and I read all of this last night when I was talking about them packing the court, but God bless you, Pastor Walt. Gimbalo, thank you. Gimbio, thank you. God bless you, H.A. Goodman. Thank you, Pastor Walt. Very kind of you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Dan Noyes, the point of the Senate was to directly represent state governments. That's why senators were not directly elected until 1919. Yes. And also, we have 50 states. Why on earth should New York, California, or Texas control everything? So Maine has no vote. Wyoming has no vote. I mean, America is more than just New York and Los Angeles. That's what I had a debate with my buddy today. He's like, well, what's the difference? What's the problem? I'm like, well, people are different. Between New York and LA, most of it is Trump country. I mean, they don't want to admit it, but it is. Patriot 95, HA, all the MAGA patriots, they want U.S. divided and weak. Yep. But together we are strong and unbeatable. That's right. Together our vote can overcome this tyranny and evil. Together we will make America great again. Absolutely, Patriot 95. Absolutely. Thank you, Catherine White. Thank you. Yeah, last night was fun. I wanted to start off good this live stream, but it was like, can you hear me? Can't hear you. So we tried to amend the Constitution 11,000 times. All right, so let's just hear the 20th Amendment. Washington Post has an article, 4 ways to amend Constitution. I was reading that the other night, and because you have to kind of remind yourself, these, the Democrats or liberals or whatever, they're completely unhinged. Like completely unhinged. I mean, they're talking about abolishing the Senate. Now, when you talk about abolishing Congress, you're talking about rewriting the Constitution, not just an amendment. You're talking about actually rewriting it to serve your own interests, which is extremely, extremely, extremely insane, but also extremely dangerous. There are four, not 2 ways to amend the Constitution. Okay. There are actually 4 ways. Both houses propose an amendment with a 2/3 vote. And 3/4 of the legislatures approve. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck with 37 or 38 states approving. They would have to get, 38 states to approve what 290 representatives and 67 senators approved. Again, they would have to, if they want to amend the Constitution. One way is both houses proposed an amendment with a 2/3 vote and 3/4 of state legislatures approve. So 26 of the 27 amendments were approved in this manner, okay? The second way, so you have 37 states, 37 or 38 state legislatures approve what 290 House of Representatives in the House and 67 senators agree on. This country is so polarized that even if they wanted to tear apart the political fabric of this nation, they need to do so through bureaucratic or legislative means, and they don't have the power to even do that. Both houses propose an amendment with a 2/3 vote, okay, and 3/4 of the states approve the amendment via ratifying convention. Again, 3/4 of the states, not 2/3 of the states. Only the 21st Amendment, which repealed prohibition, was passed in this manner. Both houses propose an amendment with a 2/3 vote, and 3/4 of the state approve the amendment. So the first way is 3/4 of the state legislatures, meaning that you have to have state legislatures, whether you have state senator, state house. One could be Republican dominated, one could be House. So I mean, it's like impossible. Then the third way is two-thirds of state legislatures call on Congress to hold a constitutional convention. And three-fourths of the states, so 37 or 38 of the state legislatures approve the amendment. Ain't going to happen. Most states are red states, so ain't going to happen. Two-thirds of the state legislatures, and then the fourth is two-thirds of the state legislatures call on Congress to hold a constitutional convention, and three-fourths of the states approve the amendment via ratifying convention. Again, ain't going to happen. So this is really, really, really important. This is really important. You need 38 states. So 75% of you need 38 states. You need 60. Where do they get this insanity? They're so stupid. They're so stupid. And it's kind of like Medicare for all. Like they have no way to implement their grandiose at least Medicare for all has a moral component that you can say, well, people don't have access to healthcare. Well, how do you know they're going to get access when Medicare right now, there's out-of-pocket costs, but whatever. I can't believe this insanity. So you're going to need, at the end of the day, 38 states. After you get 290 representatives in the House and 67 senators. "26 of the 27 amendments were approved by both houses proposing an amendment with a two-thirds vote. And three-fourths of state legislatures approving it. How on earth is that going to happen? How on earth is that going to happen? It is not going to happen, and what they're doing is they've become more unhinged. They threaten. They continually make threats as if they can, and impeaching a president or a Supreme Court justice, if it's the same way as impeaching a president, you need the majority in the House and then 67 senators. You're not going to get 67 senators to impeach Trump or to impeach Kavanaugh. This is not even grounded in reality. And the reason I'm spending so much time on it is because there's a frightening, almost petrifying aspect to all of this. How can you be so unhinged? How can you be so brainwashed that you would rewrite the way America conducts its political affairs because you're so inept and corrupt? You're so corrupt as a political party. So they're constantly losing power, and who knows what they're going to, how they're going to react. Who knows how they're going to react? Really, I mean, who knows how they're going to react on November 6, 2018? I mean, it's just going to be a really, really pathetic sight. Two-thirds in both houses and three-fourths of state legislatures. 38 state legislatures. The left is becoming scary unhinged. Patriot 95. They are. They are. In all the like little like wonky smart people that are supposed to be these wonky smart guys. They're so smart. They're such eggheads. They're such smart eggheads. They don't explain like, oh, this is impossible. You can't do that. There's nothing you can do to ensure that Trump is impeached, Kavanaugh is impeached. You're not going to pack the court. There's no way you're going to remake the Senate. You're not going to abolish the Electoral College. You're not going to pack the court. All of these things they claim to do, they're not going to do. They can't even win an election, but they're going to just remake American, get trained and get concealed carry, be prepared. I'd love to, Brandon Wolf, but LA is very difficult. California, I believe, in general, is difficult, but I'm going to see what I can do. You're right, though. Joseph Arbuckle. Dems are promising 101 Dalmatia. Yeah, I mean, then you have, I mean, the midterms are coming up. Let's just see this right here. The midterms are coming up, and the polls are hilarious. Let's get to the polls. Democrat lead in poll may not lead to Democrats. This is just yesterday. Eventually they find out that I'm right. Democrats lead. CNBC. Gee, you think? I've been saying that since May. Oh, but New York Magazine comes to the rescue. New York midterm polls, Democrats leading in House battlegrounds. No way. Reals? This new poll of battleground districts is great news for Democrats. For a while now, a large plurality of Americans have been telling pollsters they would like Democrats to regain control of the House next year. As of this writing, 49% of voters say they're polling for Team Blue. You can always rely on New York Magazine to just give you the best news. But this November, well, just 41.4% are backing the GOP. Boo. According to 538's poll of polls. Poll of polls, polls, plus, minus, plus. Oh, and then they keep talking. Well, but as everybody knows, in American elections since November 8, 2016, we're all well aware, the party that wins more votes does not necessarily win more power. Yeah. Well, it's called the Electoral College, which you knew you had to win. So you could pretend. You could pretend and pretend you didn't know, But Dan Noyes, government holds a legal monopoly on the use of physical force against citizens. I see nothing more about moral about stealing money to fund their pet projects so they can steal money on the side. Well, that's a problem, and it's one of the trade-offs, unfortunately, of I guess the philosophical trade-offs of living in a nation or a country. Uh, Hobbes talked about this in Leviathan. Unfortunately, we have to sometimes make that trade-off, unfortunately, but I agree with you on that. There are a lot of things that we're doing and that we've always been doing that, you know, we shouldn't be funding. Dan Noyes, thank you. They don't have any, they just don't have any evidence for anything. So they're just holding this temper tantrum, and they can win, and they're not going to do this, but simply say, bring American soldiers home. They can simply say that. And if they said that, they'd be okay. If they said that, they'd be okay. But what they do is they tailor, like, they tailor these bizarre, it's like they've gone into these like women's studies courses, or just really like college courses, and they said, well, what can we do? We're going to go ahead and tailor the Democratic Party to the most, liberal UC Berkeley women's studies course. And this way, the majority of the country will have a whole lot of people in New York and LA who will agree. Everyone else just has to fall in line. But see, the problem is they lost the election. Their star candidate that they cheated for, Hillary Clinton, was repulsive. And she was like, yeah, we should do away with the Electoral College. Meanwhile, China hacked her server. She had a server outside the United States government where she illegally transferred top secret intelligence from cybernet JWICs and SCIFs. She illegally transferred this intelligence. It was absolutely illegal, and they covered it up. They absolutely covered it up. They covered it up, and their philosophy was, well, it's covered up fair and square. There's nothing you can do about it because we already covered it up, so. I just love, like, them getting the take from Hillary Clinton. Like, I love that. Talk about a lack of self-awareness there. I love that. I love they would just ask Hillary Clinton, who basically should be either in prison or in a trial right now. Gee, what do you think about elections after you cheated Bernie and paid for the Steele dossier? What do you think? Ram Lafara. Yes, I can't wait either. It's going to be amazing. Please be here. We're all going to party. Everyone be here. Ramla, be here. Dan, everyone. November 6th, 2018. We're going to have a party, ladies and gentlemen. We all deserve it. We all deserve it. We deserve it. It's tiring to have to deal with Democrats. It's tiring. There's some funny it's just so tiring to have to deal with the Democratic Party. I apologize in advance if my, if my computer, like, crashes up or it's just I'm trying to look up something here. But so what Trump did is the ultimate it's trolling, but at the same time, like, it does make sense. It does make perfect sense. Kavanaugh should be apologized to. Why should anyone why should anyone be subjected to what he was subjected to? Why? It makes no sense. It really makes no sense. It'll be interesting to see how they it'll be interesting to see how they, react to their loss because it's gonna be a pretty epic loss. I know I always say this, but it's going to be something where the Democratic Party will eventually have to, the Democratic Party will eventually have to, justify their loss, and they won't be able to blame, Russia. So that what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Lindsey Graham is now a beloved figure. Lindsey Graham is awesome. Trump has his approval ratings increasing. The economy is still great. So it's like tell me where the end of the world is taking place. There's no end of the world here. You know, it's just Democrats doing what they usually do, losing and then just having a temper tantrum of epic proportions. And that's it. So Trump apologized to Brett. It was a logic, and they don't get it. They think that it's the right of people to just make accusations, even if they're on about it's just the right to do that. It's just people's right to do that. Well, it's an allegation, and this is all this is politics, and in politics, you have to play dirty. Now they want to play dirtier. Now they want to get even more dirty. They don't realize the reason that they lose is because they're so corrupt. They don't realize the reasons they lose is that they're so utterly corrupt. They don't get it. They think this is just the way politics is played. But no. Then they're blaming Mitch McConnell, which is hilarious. They're like, well, Mitch McConnell is just ruthless. Why is he ruthless? What he kept Merrick Garland. No, they controlled the Senate. That's why. Next time win elections. That's the thing. You didn't win the election, so if you didn't win the election, don't complain about Merrick Garland. Uh, gentlemen. I hope I'm back on. If I am, let me know. Sorry about this this evening. I will fix whatever problem I have. Um, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you to my super chat. Thank you. And God bless. I will see you. I will see you later this evening. Thank